rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their claw. There's no one that can match me.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy POLK, a.k.a. Low, a.k.a. the Got Damn Truth. And first and foremost, remember, you're coming into my house. You know what to do. Hit that like button, ring my doorbell, wipe them feet, and introduce yourself. That's hit the like button. So by all means, let's hit the like button. Small crowd in here tonight. We may get bigger, we may not. It's all good. Yes, sir. We may get bigger, we may not, but it's all good. A little bit of stuff to go over, man. Interesting weekend of college football for sure. Um, and even Florida State has some news. Even Florida State has some news on the trail. Not a surprise if you've been watching me. We've only been talking about that for about a month or so. So it came, it went. We move on, keep going. Ed Orgeron, news on LSU, everything. Stop. Come on. Okay. So let's get to a roll call real quick. Then we'll just talk about the topics and some of the big games that happened yesterday. But let's hit a roll call real quick and then we'll get it cracking. No squad, Raul, Torado, FSU Tony, Purple Goblin, EMG, Panama Jack, Dupree, Joe Johnson, Ardavius, Jen Fari, Hypnotic, and Travis Salone, No Blooded, Brandon Brazier. What is going on with y'all, man? So let's talk about. Let's start it off with. Let's just start it off with what everybody, I guess, would want to talk about. But Ba decided he was gonna decommit yesterday. Again, Ball recently went from a 4-star O lineman to a 3-star, but he was still a solid recruit. He's still a solid prospect, big kid with a lot of tools to work with. So a lot of people think he is Georgia bound, but again, this shouldn't come as a surprise to any Florida State fan. Ba was being talked about. Well, I've only been talking about Ba being pursued by Georgia for about a month, so this has kind of been common knowledge. It's kind of been common knowledge going on with Ba for, like I said, about a month. And it helps that FSU has so many O linemen currently committed. So Ba's out. They're not done recruiting guys like Armella and probably some lesser known prospects. But Armella's probably number one on the board now. But again, like Dupree just said, we all kind of knew Ba was gone. So I don't really want to waste too much time on Ba. Wish him the best and wherever he decides to go. But we've been talking about Ba being added to class for, I don't know, a month. Probably longer, but at least a month. I feel like we were talking about it since August. We were talking about Ba pretty much being on the outs. So there's that. And then just to stay in a little bit of the recruiting, what's up, CJ? It's my fault. But Travion Williams is another one who he hasn't officially decommitted. He hasn't officially decommitted, man, but I think everybody kind of has. And again, this was a kid who, when he committed, like, again, I'm not really trying to toot my own horn, but I told y'all when he committed, I said, if FSU struggles during the season, he's a Mississippi kid. We saw it last year with Altmaier, right? Those Mississippi kids don't leave the state of Mississippi, especially not to go outside of the state when you have a team like Ole Miss who's firing on all cylinders right now. So I don't think Travion's officially decommitted, but you can pretty much count him on the outs too. All in all, for starting 0-4, I gotta be honest with you. I think Florida State is in a good spot in the recruiting trail with just having 2 decommitments at this point. It could be a lot worse. Yeah, Travis Sloan, good point. Charles Cross, too. 5-star O lineman. Remember, he was committed to Florida State. Ended up signing with Mississippi State. Like this thing happens, man. This stuff happens, especially with those Mississippi kids. So, but just talking about this class, yeah, I think just having two guys pretty much decommitting at this point is a good thing. Is a good thing. And then if you replace Ball with Armelia, then nobody's losing any sleep over this. You feel me? Nobody's losing any sleep over this. So I'm not saying we're going to land Armelia, but LSU has been the favorite for him this entire time. And now that will segue us into Coach O and LSU apparently agreeing to mutually part ways, but after the year. After the year. So I don't necessarily like that. I think that is not the way to go about it personally, but who am I? I'm not an athletic director or anything like that. I just feel like, why are you holding on? Why are you asking Coach O, who knows his job is done, once the final bell rings, that once you get those 000 at the end of the year, that final game, whether it's a bowl game or not, O knows he's out. He knows he's out. So why are you asking him to recruit? How is Coach O going to recruit players at LSU, but he's not going to coach these kids? That's so weird to me. I don't understand that logic. People are like, "Oh, that's helping the recruit." I don't see how that. How can I go and sit to your living room and tell you LSU is a great place to come spend the next 3 to 4 years of your life, and convince your parents that I can't convince your parents that I'm gonna be the one looking out for your children because I'm gone and the world knows that I'm gone. I don't know LSU's kind of thing there. I don't know why they are going about it in that way. If that was the case, they should have just kept the firing quiet. If you're going to let them finish out the year, just keep it quiet. Just keep it quiet until the end of the year. But I mean, to announce it now, and that's tough. That's tough. Like, I don't understand it. As far as Coach O, I get it. He just won a natty. But there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes at LSU. They're facing some potential legal things. There's some bad stuff brewing over there. So I can kind of understand why he would get fired. You're not playing very well on the field. And they have some big allegations outside of inside the program, but off of the field is what I'm trying to say. So I can kind of see why, but a lot of this stuff stems more so from Les Miles than it does stem from Coach O. But still, I can kind of see why you would fire him. But I don't understand why you announce it, and then now, like, again, like, you're gonna try to convince he's got to go recruit for a school that he won't be coaching at. That's so weird to me. But we'll see where Coach O ends up. Miami fans think they want him, so we'll see there. And that leads to Jimbo and LSU talks are going to start heating up. And when at first glance, you think at first glance you think Jimbo's not going to go to LSU. He's getting paid too much money. Well, apparently that was Texas A&M's thoughts, is that they're paying him so much money, $9 million a year, that the only way he would leave was if someone would be willing, which basically would only be like an NFL team that would be willing to pay over $9 million a year. Like, I think the highest paid coach in the NFL was John Gruden. I remember the Raiders gave him like a historically big time contract, and that was like $10 million for 10 years or something like that. But then you kind of look into the situation. Now, I'm no lawyer and I don't know the contracts like that, but from what I've read, this is what I do know. And then we'll talk about what I read. What I do know is the former Texas A&M AD is the current LSU AD. Those two, and they have a great relationship. and he brought Jimbo to Texas A&M with a very friendly contract. So that's what I do know. Now, what I don't know all the facts on, but I'll just talk about it because I read up on some of this stuff. There's no buyout, which I can't believe. But apparently, there's legitimately no buyout for Jimbo Fisher. So Jimbo Fisher could, one, walk away with no repercussions, or a team could try to hire him away with very limited buyout, if any buyout. Literally, from what I've read, Texas A&M banked on the fact that Jimbo would never entertain another job or go anywhere because no other job will be able to pay him over $9 million. But if you're Jimbo Fisher and you have this great relationship with your former athletic director who's at a school that you won a national championship at as an offensive coordinator, you have a great relationship with LSU, would you take, I mean, if I'm Jimbo, I'd take 7.5, 8 million, somewhere around there. I take $1 million or $2 less to be in a working environment with an athletic director that actually hired me and where I want to work for the guy that hired me. Right now, Jimbo's working with the guy who didn't hire him. That's very interesting to me. I'm not saying Jimbo's going to end up at LSU. I don't know what that would do to Jimbo Fisher's reputation because I don't think that's a good look. Jimbo got a pass for leaving Florida State for everybody outside of Florida State. Like, we know, FSU fans, kind of how that whole thing kind of went down. And while it wasn't the perfect situation, Jimbo left this thing in shambles. But everybody outside the program has all but giving Jimbo a pass for the way he left Florida State, saying, well, Florida State should have gave him what he wanted. Florida State should have invested in facilities. Florida State should have did this. Florida State should have did that. And fair, that might be some truth to it, but it didn't stop the fact that Jimbo, on his way out, quit. Stop doing the things that he should have did, right? So, but we're not here to rehash that. But he wouldn't have those excuses at A&M. And it goes from looking like he left. It would go from looking like he left Florida State out of necessity because Florida State wasn't willing to play big boy football, to it would look like if you go from Florida State to Texas A&M, but took less money to go to it would almost look like you're being a mercenary at this point. It would almost look like Jimbo's just trying to follow. I think it would kind of damage his reputation. Now, I don't know if he cares or not. But if he got the benefit of the doubt, FSU didn't have the facilities. Well, you can't say that at Texas A&M. So what would be your legit reason for going to LSU? And you've only been at A&M for what, 3-4 years? And you've got all the money behind you. You're making the most money in college football. You've got the highest paid facilities in college football. He wouldn't get that benefit of the doubt leaving Texas A&M like he did us. So I don't know if he gives a damn about his reputation or not, but I do think his rep takes a hit if he makes that move. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. That LSU job is going to be interesting. So right now you have the USC job and the LSU jobs pretty much open, and we all kind of think Manny's a dead man walking. But Miami, man, y'all, they're third on that head coaching list. Like, if you think USC and let's say LSU's the best job just because it's the SEC. Well, USC's the second best job, and then we got Miami. I don't know who Miami's favorites are, but good luck trying to land them with two jobs like that opening up at this point. Let's go to the comments a little bit. I've talked a lot. Tyler says, who cares about rep when you're getting paid ungodly amounts of money? I feel you. It wouldn't surprise me if Jimbo bailing on Texas. It wouldn't surprise me either. Anyone going to the UMass game? We'll talk about a little bit of this UMass game coming up. I can't wait to boo Walt Bell. Jimbo gone. Let him stay gone from FSU. It's LSU. I mean, they are supposed to be up. And they're supposed to be an upgrade from TAMU. Supposed to be. But I mean, the man just beat Alabama. Again, he's the highest paid coach in football. He just beat Alabama. He's got the big time facility. Like, I just don't think there's an excuse to leave TAMU. It's not like A&M can't compete. But I get exactly what you're saying. LSU is supposed to be that upgrade. If Jimbo bounces, he's a bigger bish. Nah, Manny getting an extension. LSU ain't gonna give Jimbo peanuts. I know, no, I agree with you. Are they gonna match $9 million though? I don't think they're gonna match $9 million for what 10 plus years. I don't think they're gonna match that. But will Jimbo be willing to take a mil or $1.5 million less for maybe more stability? Or he might. I think LSU is gonna have to match A&M. If they're playing that game, then I don't know. If they're gonna play that game, then I don't know. And Dupree says he'll be at the UMass game. So speaking of the UMass game, we are opening up as a 35-point favorite, somewhere around there. 30+ point favorite against UMass. I'm not gonna lie. Damn, drop my phone. I'm not gonna lie. This past weekend was kind of boring, man, without no Florida State football to watch, and was watching all these other games. Well, there were some decent games. Okay. There were some decent games. Let me see. I'm trying to think of the games I watched. Obviously, I watched Kentucky, Georgia. I watched Miami and UNC, and I've watched a few others. I think the Oregon and Cal, but that wasn't Saturday. But I watched the Clemson and Syracuse game. Dino Babers pissed me off at the end of that game. I don't know what Dino Babers was thinking there. So not having no Florida State was interesting. And even if it's UMass, right, I can't wait to see how this team plays this Saturday. I'm basing this off of a couple things. I'm basing this off of the way Syracuse and Clemson game played out. The way Clemson looked in that game, I'll be honest with you, I really didn't watch much of Clemson this year. I watched that Georgia game a little bit, and I was like, man, Georgia's got the best defense in the nation. I don't know how much you can really gather from that game. And I haven't really watched Clemson since. And I just sat down on a Friday and paid attention to the Syracuse team that we would put up 33 on, right? We put up 30 plus on them. And I'm watching this Clemson team, and I'm thinking to myself, bro, we can beat this team. We can beat Clemson. But I'm very interested to see how we play against you. I don't know if we cover a 35-point spread. That's real big. And this FSU team has not shown that they can cover no spread like that. So I wouldn't really bet on it. But if we can, I'm going to be very interested to see how those boys play that UMass game. And if they can blow them out like the experts predict, so to speak, I really have a lot of confidence going into Clemson. I really do. Now, if we struggle, or if we give up too much points against UMass, right? If we beat UMass like 42-24, I'm gonna have a problem with that. UMass shouldn't be putting up 24 points, right? If we only beat them 21-10, I'm gonna have a little bit of a problem with that. I would really, again, I don't know if we're gonna win by 35 plus, but if I could get a 35-7 victories, something like a 28-point win or somewhere in that ballpark, I'll have a lot of confidence going into this Clemson game. This UMass game is going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to watch it. They're going to try to work some things in for Clemson. First, let's not make the same mistake we did against Jacksonville State. First, let's get up by 14 points. Let's actually put points on the board. Then you can work on maybe Because I don't. Again, the UMass is one of literally maybe the worst, if not the second worst program in all of college football. There's Division II teams that would beat the UMass. Seriously. So I am not really worried about you. I'm honestly not worried about them. But what I don't want them to do is that same mistake that they made against Jacksonville State. Think that you don't have to prepare for these teams and come out and try to run, that Mickey Mouse gimmick crap. And now all of a sudden we're in a dogfight in the fourth quarter. And we all know how those games play out. Let's get on them early, 14-21 early, and then work on the stuff. Then we get up by 21-0, man, I say sit Travis down, throw Purdy out there the rest of the way. Like that's what I want to see. Agree, Tyler. If he didn't learn from JSU, then he deserves to be fired after UMass. Like, I'm giving Norvell his opportunities. I actually like the way we're trending. I thought we played great against. I hated that Syracuse. I hated the way we looked. I'm not saying I hated it. I hated the way we looked in the Syracuse game, but we found a way to win a game. We almost did everything we could to lose it. And then we came out the next week in a game that I thought we might struggle and actually dominated. It was in control of that game. I mean, we went down 10-0, and then after that, it was in control of that game the rest of the way. Was obviously easily the better team on the football field. North Carolina never really even threatened after going up 10-0. They were never in a position to threaten us. Love that North Carolina game. I love the way they played all four. That was the best game Norvell's had since he's been the coach here, was that North Carolina game. They played 4 quarters. They played hard all 4 quarters. They called damn near a perfect game to our strength. I can't say enough about it. So all I want to see is you come out against UMass and do something similar against a extremely inferior squad. It's a very inferior squad against UMass. Again, I don't know. We haven't shown that we can go up and beat a team by 30-plus points yet. But can we beat them by 20-something points? Will be interesting to see. Yeah, Sammy says UConn. That's their only win, and they barely beat. I'm telling you, UMass, UConn, those are literally 2 of like the worst programs in all of college football. So you definitely shouldn't be struggling with this team. We got a lot different. This is a totally different conversation if they struggle against this team. But I don't want you to go in there with the big head. This team is still 2-4 at the end of the day. So let's not go in there and pretend like, we can just coast through this. Go out there, jump on them early, and then you can call the dogs off later. But I want that focus and I want that fight early in the game, and then you can call off the dogs later. Let the young pups eat the scraps. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I would like to see. Hopefully we finally see Demore Tate and Patrick Payton. No need to rush either one of them, Ardavius. I keep saying this about the second. As far as Patrick Payton goes, I think we're not going to see it this year, but I think what he can be learning behind Jermaine Johnson and Keir Thomas is you're not going to see it this year, but I'm telling you in the future, what Patrick Payton may grow to be is going to be, could be special. I'm not going to say it's going to be special. You never know what happens, right? But I believe the knowledge and things that he's getting behind playing a legit NFL player in Jermaine Johnson, and Keir Thomas may find a niche in the NFL. I don't think he's a top tier type of draft pick, mainly not because he can't play, mainly because Keir doesn't have that length on the edge that the NFL looks for. I think that's Keir's biggest problem in terms of getting drafted. Like, Keir Thomas may be a 3rd or 4th round or later pick because he doesn't have that length that they look for from their top tier defensive ends. But both guys are probably NFL players, and what Patrick Payton is learning behind those guys could be invaluable. As far as Demore Tate goes, again, one of my problems with the secondary is the too much rotation. Stop rotating. Get a set group of 5 and put them out there every week, and let those guys get get cohesion and chemistry. Not a knock on Demore. I would love to see him out there, but at this point, with the way that secondary played against North Carolina, honestly, that should be your starting secondary going forward. Let's stop rotating every game. Every game up into North Carolina, we rotated corners and safeties. Stop it. If I'm not mistaken, Kevin Knowles should be your starting. Kevin Knowles should probably be your starting nickel. I would have Jamie. I got it. I would arguably put Jamie at one of those two safety spots and alongside Sidney Williams. Give me Sidney Williams, Jamie Robinson at safety. Give me Kevin Knowles at nickel. And Jay on that. I guess, what was it? Jay and Jerry and Jones last week, I think? Or was it Brownlee and Jerry and Jones? Maybe Brownlee and Jerry and Jones. Now, I'm still not too high. Jerry's got to show me more. He played good against North Carolina. He continues to show me more than I'll be sold on Jerry and Jones. But give me the cohesion, man, and we can go from there. Let me catch up, guys. I'm fell a little behind. You know what, Tony? I apologize. I just noticed your super chat. Shout out to Tony, man, with the $2, man. Appreciate the $2, bro. He says, I think we can get Clemson. I do too. But I want to see how we respond in this UMass game first before I go all in, right? But Clemson's beatable, man. Clemson's beatable. But I appreciate you showing some support, bro.
Yeah, more money. Yeah, more money. Yeah.
Yeah, Pope, we can beat Clemson. I'll be there in the valley. Dabo don't trust his QB. He let the kicker throw a pass on a fake punt. I want 60 on him, but I think we score 49-52, UMass 10. That would be, if you're talking 49-10, yeah, my confidence level would be on high going into Clemson. Facts. Let's not blow up Facts. Let's not let up blow UMass out. Hopefully we finally see. Oh, I read that one. My bad. If UMass scored over 13, Fuller need to go. I don't really see too many lines there. Dilly called a great game versus UNC. Let's hope he keeps it up. Absolutely. Stop with the bubble screens. Thomas and Johnson are gonna eat. Same record. It's a whole nother conversation, but the fact that Tyler brought it up, so I'm just gonna talk about it a little bit. The fact that I was talking about this to the Miami fans. Like, look, at the end of the day, we got the same record, so we really can't clown one another. Like, we both suck. But I know I was very optimistic prior to the season started, but that's just me. You know, y'all watch me for a while. You know, people say I'm negative, but the truth is I'm a lot more positive than I am in negative most times. So I was like, you know, this team can win 7-8 games. I stood by that. Now we started off 0-4. Like, well, damn. But even with my optimism, the consensus on Florida State was they were still being one of the youngest teams in the nation, if not the youngest team in the nation. And it was still thought that they were going to struggle this year. Like, I could have been optimistic as I want, but I think, hell, in the 8-hour preseason show that I did, there was only like me and like Tay Noel that thought FSU was going to win north of like 6 games. Everybody else I brought on there from Logan to all them other guys, the hot seat smoke, all those guys. Everybody was like, this team's not going to be that good this year. This team's going to suck. Now, I'm not saying those guys are the end-all, be-all. We're all different people. We all have different opinions. And nor am I saying they're the experts, so to speak. But you know what I mean? Like, most people, I think, would have told you Florida State was going to struggle this year, regardless of what a few optimistic fans thought. And even I can admit, like, okay, I was optimistic, but I knew the reality of the situation was, you know, this team is going to go through a lot of growing pains. Well, we're going through them. But the other end of the spectrum was the number 14th ranked team, which I'm not big on preseason rankings, but still you brought back 19 of 22 starters. They were the most experienced team coming back in college football. They had a top 15 recruiting class. That was the whole narrative on Miami, that they were supposed to be the it team this year. And the fact that we're 6 games in and we have the same record, one team is kind of on par or on course of doing what they were kind of predicted to do. The other team is vastly underwhelming at this point. They are criminally underperforming at this point. And I told T2Y this. I was actually on T2Y's show before I came on. But I told T2Y, like Bubba Bolden, guys like that were supposed to be these great players. Bubba Bolden is turned out to be Miami's version of our Marvin Wilson. Bubba Bolden came into the season with a ton of hype. I even saw him on some first round projections. Same as Marvin Wilson. And they're damn near almost going similar in terms of Bubba Bolden at this rate might not get drafted. So Tyler brought that up. I just wanted to spin on a little bit. And that's what we do, right? We didn't have a game this week. It's a Sunday. Doing a little bit of college wrap up. So I'll talk about a little bit of everything. And that ain't me talking trash, man. That's just me being honest. Hell, when's the last time we won by 30? Facts. Get some looks in the third quarter? Absolutely. No, I'm saying hopefully we are beating UMass big enough to see those guys. I hope so too. Thomas deserves to get drafted. I see him being a fourth and Johnson a first. Johnson's definitely playing his way. If Jermaine isn't a first round already, he will be by the end of the year. I think this tape on Jermaine is legit. And again, Kier lacks a little bit of length that they're going to want to see at the next level. But a fourth rounder, I actually would agree with that. And fourth or later, I think Kier Thomas can get drafted. Let's let these vets get a taste of a dominant victory and then play the young guys. Noel Squad says he's back. Checking in, Polk. How you? I haven't even talked about the Gators yet, but yeah. Crazy. Ed O beats the Gators and then gets fired the next day. It's insane. But I think Mullen is baffling me. Mullen is a good football coach. But the way a guy who's considered a quarterback guru, and he's got a track record to speak of, Dan Mullen coached Dak Prescott. Dan Mullen, I believe, coached Tim Tebow. I'm pretty sure he was the offensive coordinator for Urban. I'm almost 100% positive he was. The man's got a track record of college quarterbacks. For him to be so... The mishandling of Emory Jones and AR-15 baffles me. One guy is obviously better. Right? This isn't a Milton and Jordan Travis situation where one guy, I think if he's 100% healthy is better, but at the same time, one guy brings a different dynamic to your offense that makes the team as a whole maybe more dangerous, right? You can have that legit argument between Milton and Travis, and that's fair. I say we ride with Travis from here on out, but the game plan doesn't change when AR-15's in the game versus Emory Jones. They're running the same offense. One guy's just so much better, and yet he continues to go back to Emory Jones. I don't get what Mullen's doing with the quarterbacks. I don't know why he just won't commit to the guy that I think everybody sees as the better player. I don't know if he's scared to lose Emory Jones. I don't get it. But Emory Jones was quoted that he doesn't know what the future. Someone asked him about transferring. I don't know the direct quote, but he was quoted as basically saying, look, I'm a Gator now, but he doesn't know what the future is going to hold. He's probably getting fed up with the quarterback situation there. Mullen might want to hurry up and fix that. Lovett played great. Lovett was damn near dominant against North Carolina. Sidney Williams is struggling. I don't see it as struggling as other people see it. Again, and even if you say Sidney Williams is struggling, what other safety this year has played to Sidney Williams' standard? Because Brandon Gant has it. Ronaldo Green's been too hurt. Akeem Dent has shown some flashes, but he's also battled with injury. Sidney Williams has been the most reliable safety probably you've had on the team. Jamie, a dog with tackling, but Knowles is locked down. Brownlee and Jones. We need to try to get a passing game. Chat jumped on me a little bit, guys. I'm kind of actually far behind you guys, so give me a minute. Where is John Shields? John's probably lurking. I say this a lot. The Miami fans don't really come around when they lose. Some of them do. The ones who show up week in and week out are the ones who I come in here and I kind of let them talk. And I know those guys off the top of my head. John's actually one of them. He usually comes in. But John Shields, Dennis, Maiden Date, and some of those guys don't even come in and talk trash. They just come in and show love. It's the Miami fans that come out of nowhere that I usually put them in timeout. Because how you don't never come in, how you only show up when y'all win a game. But as you can see, when they don't win, they don't show up. They really don't have much to say. Phil's usually in here for on most weeks. Shout out to Phil. I was actually just talking to Kane Zay today on the other channel, on T2Y's channel. So Zay's around. He might over T2Y actually might still be live. That's probably where some of those Miami guys are, by the way. Ba is a future NFL Hall of Famer. DF with the foolishness. He don't even wait. How do you guys feel about Mike now? Do you think he stays 3 more years? Too early to tell. He's still 2-4 at the end of the day. We have a little bit of momentum, but he's still 2-4. What up, Pat, my man? We them boys. Dallas are losing the playoffs, man. Dallas are losing the playoffs. We don't need anybody that don't want to be here. How can you make that assumption, DF? DF just be talking, bro. Smoking on Kane. It's not an assumption, but yet they have all the excuses in the world. I thought 8-4, from 8-4 to 2-10. Love how Travis keep it real on national TV. You talking about Travis Hunter? I saw his interview. We have to put our foot on UMass's neck and snap it completely. We need to get Malik McClain going on the deep ball. We do need to find a deep threat, Dupree. I don't know if Malik's the deep threat. Pookie kind of seems like the deep threat. And I've always said, like, Pookie, he excels for some reason at the deep ball. And I think it has a lot to do with on the shorter passes, he's looking to run before he catches it. Pookie seems to be our deep threat, though. He a true freshman. Travis J needs to be back at safety, in my opinion. Give me Williams over Gant any day of the week. Akeem Dent. What up, T? There's T2Y. I guess you're not live no more, bro. There's T2Y. You saying that, but I don't think you really mean it. I like Sydney. He just in a funk. He's just gonna go through those growing pains. You feel me? T2Y, not T2Y. See, got me thinking about this T2Y. Sydney Williams is gonna go. He's a freshman. He's not a true freshman. He's a red shirt because he played a little bit last year, but he didn't start. And he's getting starting minutes. He's a freshman. He's gonna go through growing pains. Young kids are gonna go through them. Oh, I haven't seen New King in weeks. New King never shows up when they lose. He talks the most trash maybe out of any Miami fan. New King does. I've actually seen New King go to the War Chants and Knowles Game Day and the other shows and actually pay donations to talk. He'll pay $5. He'll pay a $5 super chat just to talk trash. But I haven't seen him in weeks. New King is under a bed right now. He's like, oh my God, how can I talk and we got the same record? New King don't want no smoke. What up, Florida Kane? I take Williams over Gann all day. And Dent too inconsistent. Stop it, Pope. Quit hating on my boys. Hey. The Cowboys had they had a real easy schedule thus far, man. But no knock on the Cowboys. I don't hate them. I actually used to be a Cowboys, but that's because I was young and I didn't know any better. How many times Travis Hunter got to tell y'all that he's coming? I think people don't want to believe it. Notice I don't talk about that. Notice I don't talk about Sam McCall anymore. Remember when Sam McCall first committed and I was like, I'll believe that one when I see it. But here's the difference. I'm gonna just look, kids are young, kids change their minds. If they change their minds at the end of the day, I ain't gonna hate them for it. But when Travis Hunter, Sam McCall Travis Hunter just said he wasn't going anywhere. I think a couple days before that, McCall came out and damn near said the same stuff. McCall said he's not going anywhere. Now, McCall did say one of the things that would have him potentially worried or thinking about leaving was that he has a great relationship with the whole defensive staff. And that if there was any coaching changes made on the defensive staff, which kind of pisses me off because at the end of the day, yes, I want new coaches, but it starts with the players, in my opinion, in terms of getting talent in here. So that means we got to keep some of these coaches. Hopefully Marv isn't one of those coaches. Like, we can move on from him. At a minimum, can we fire Chris Marv? But anyway, but McCall was pretty adamant in saying that, like, he's here, he's locked in. But if coaching changes were to happen, then he would take a step back. He would take a step back, right? So, but yeah, man, these kids keep saying that they're here, they're locked in. Can we please stop questioning them? Can we please stop? Travis Hunter lives in Georgia. He's gonna go watch Georgia football. I'm not worried about. Honestly, I'm not. If he ends up flipping to Georgia, more power to him. I understand it. I said it. You cannot go 0-4 and try to sell that crap to these kids. But FSU seems to, a credit to this coaching staff, they seem to identify a group of kids who wanted to not just come in and ride a wave, but make a difference. Omar Graham, Early, Quayshawn Sapp, AJ Duffy, Sam McCall, Travis Hunter. These kids are on record saying, hey, we understand what we're coming into. We don't give a damn about the record. We don't care what this team does. Of course, we would like to see them win, but at the end of the day, it's not us, so we ain't gonna get mad about it. They're literally saying these things. They're in. And shout out to the staff for identifying kids who are in. Now, every kid's not gonna be in. You just saw Body committed, Travion probably gone, and there is a little bit of smoke around Woody. We'll see how that works out. And there's other kids like Daniel Lyons who they're going to have to continue to recruit fairly hard. But at the end of the day, bro, I feel pretty good about the core guys. And I'm not going to call a young man a liar. I don't think these kids are lying on purpose. I think they believe it. And I think they're going to be here. Bro, we're almost only a month away from the early signing period. I think come December, we're going to get majority of the guys that we have committed right now. We still might get a few decommits, but I think we're going to get the core. We're going to get our core. I honestly believe it, man. I honestly believe it. UMass did put 28 on BC. Final score was 45-28. Miami 3, FSU 0. What are you talking about? Pookie's a burner. T2Y got to be high. Corbin, Ward, Jordan, Travis finna run wild. League college football and missed tackles. I mean, it's too early to have this Miami FSU talk. We still got some more games to play, but I will say that our strength does fall into Miami's weakness, if I'm saying that right. But what we do well, run the football, Miami can't stop. Teams can just line up and run on them. So I do say our strength plays into their weakness. If loses to FSU, they just might kill themselves at this point. They're banking that's all they got left. T2Y was up with that. Okay. F that. Hunter better be at FSU. He gave his word. If you can't tackle Howell, imagine trying to catch up to Jordan Travis. Watch they play like gods against FSU, though. That kind of is our kind of thing, right? I don't know how good UMass is. I know they're not good at all, really. I know they're one of the worst teams, but watch all of a sudden they have the game of the century this Saturday. At this moment, all those big recruits believe they're going to FSU. That's all you can really want. Things can change. Cap, crack pigeons are garbage. T2Y, y'all going to need that morning after pill again. Hit that like. UM got the plan B. Can't wait for Duffy, man, can't wait to get a quarterback in here. And no knock on Travis, man. I'm actually glad to see. I hope Travis continues this trend of playing really efficient football like he did against North Carolina. But it's going to be different having like a quarterback. You feel me? What's up, Deerfield? If we lose out on Duffy and Hunter, if we lose, I agree. I agree with you there. I agree. If Hunter and Duffy were to decommit, yeah, and you lost to Jacksonville State, I don't know how Norvell could save anything. But if he wins, again, you come out of Clemson with a 500 record, and all of a sudden we're having a legit different conversation about what this team could finish the season like. We could legit be in a bowl game, even if you lose to Clemson. But you're 3-5 with the way that schedule with Boston College and Miami left. NC State looks tough, and then there's Florida, bruh. The season's not over with. The season's not over with yet. I feel you there. I think Rodney Hill's a good player, but he's also like an athlete type. But I like Rodney Hill's tape and what I watch from him. But I understand that. Not this time. T2YK's not in the weight room. You remember all that offseason hype, all that offseason talk we had about how much bigger and stronger Miami was compared to FSU, and how the weight program was so different. How they tried to show these pictures. They tried to show these zoomed in pictures of Miami players and then these zoomed out pictures of Florida State players and be like the difference in the weight programs. And these boys can't tackle. Where's the weight program? Where's the strength and conditioning at? These boys can't tackle. These boys can't tackle. It's crazy. We do have a stacked running back room now, but I think what Tyler's saying is, you want to continue to add young players to it. Right now, our running back room is legitimately made out of what? Corbin, DJ, both of those guys. Corbin, I think, is a junior. I think he's a junior. I could be wrong. DJ's a sophomore. Toafili's a freshman / sophomore. I don't know why I keep yawning. Toafili's a freshman / sophomore. I think because that last year didn't count against him. So he's actually a freshman, but he's a 2-year freshman. He's a super freshman, as they would say. Trayshawn Ward is what? A 2 or 3 year player, sophomore, somewhere around there. So I kind of get what he's trying to say. Like, let's continue to add some young players to the room. But we do have a stacked room. That LaDamian Webb we ain't missed a beat there, did we? We didn't miss a beat with LaDamian Webb, did we? I remember everybody wanted LaDamian Webb to stay, and I understand it. But Trayshawn Ward has made everybody forget about LaDamian Webb, and rightfully so. I think Trayshawn Ward is way better of a running back than LaDamian Webb was at last year. I honestly do. Ward brings a lot of different dynamics to the table in his running style than Webb just didn't have for me. Not saying Webb wasn't a good player, because that he definitely looked like the more explosive of the backs last year. But Corbin has got his explosiveness back. We've seen that. I remember we were down on Corbin last year. I remember because I was one of them. Like, and then I kind of came along and was like, well, Corbin does a little bit more. He might not have that explosiveness, but he catches out the backfield. He pass blocks fairly well. So I kind of came on Corbin's side by the end of last year. But early in the season, I was like, man, what the hell? Corbin looks slow, can't break tackles. Complete 180 after 1 year. Corbin's got his explosiveness back, and Ward looks like a way better football player than LaDamian Webb. So much so, we don't even see Lawrence Toafili anymore. And quite frankly, I don't think anybody's mad about it. And I love me some LT. But LT is not better than the other two guys. LT is not better than the other two guys. We don't even ask about Toafili no more. He's the clear third running back on the depth chart. Hell, I'm not too sure LT is better than DJ. We haven't got to see a lot of DJ because he's been a little dinged up. Those two guys we got are two best backs in the ACC, and everybody knows it. What if we go 7-5 after starting 0-4? Norvell would be a miracle worker. I would have nothing negative to say if Norvell gets us to a bowl game. I'm not gonna say I have anything negative to say about him. Quite frankly, I'm feeling good about the way we are trending right now. But if he can figure out a bowl game, if he can get this team to 6-6 with a chance to be 7-6, that it will. I'll be extremely happy. At the same time, still pissed because why did it take 0-4 for the switch to get flipped? You know what I'm saying? If you can, this is the tough part of the schedule: Clemson, Miami, Florida, and NC State. But this is the tough part of the schedule. If you could have came in the year with the same way you ended it, this team, you're talking a legit, 10-win football team, if we're being real. But if he can finish 7-6 or 6-6 with a chance for a bowl game, I'll be like, yeah, Corbin is a redshirt sophomore. Okay, yeah, he's a super sophomore, so they say, right? He got another year of eligibility because of last year. Got you. Hope we get a QB transfer. I don't. I say recruit, get Duffy. I would say recruit Duffy, and I would even argue look for a low tier. And I don't say low tier as a form of disrespect, but look for a low ranking quarterback, a project guy like a Chad Moscow, a guy who's a 3-star, low 3-star. Remember him? I don't know if y'all remember that name. Go sign him. Give me 2 high school kids. No point in bringing in a transfer, in my opinion. Next year, Travis should be. If you bring in another transfer, you're going to tell Travis again that you don't believe in him after he's been the only quarterback that you've been able to win a football game with. Don't bring in a transfer. Let Travis rock out. Groom, Purdy, Duffy, Rodemaker. Bring in a couple freshmen, whether that's Duffy and another one, and build it like that. Build that quarterback room through that. We don't need a transfer. And that's just my opinion. Anthony, bro, what up? We got another walk-on running back that was supposed to be hell out of high school. What up, Mr. H? What's the topic? The recent decommit from the 3. Well, he was a 3-star offensive tackle, not D tackle, offensive tackle in Ba. But yeah, I talked a little bit about Ba. And again, I'm not saying Ba was not a good player. He was a 3-star, but he was one of those high 3 stars. He was a fringe 3-star, 4-star guy. He was a 4-star at one point and lost a star. Not saying Ball's not a good prospect because he is, but this was a guy that we knew his decommitment was coming about a month ago. So I don't know. I don't feel like there's a need for us to be up in arms over it. Now I do agree with this. I don't think we need to hit the portal in terms of quarterbacks, but we said this at the end of last year, but this year we're going to have a big offensive line class, but we don't want to be throwing a bunch of freshmen out there next year. We should hit the portal for at least 2 offensive linemen. Whether that's 1 interior guy and 1 true tackle, I don't know, but FSU needs to bring in at least 2 O linemen in the portal. And if we can find another, I don't think Jermaine is going to be out there like that, but if we can find one, I'd say we get him. LT definitely has time to grow. Trayshawn Ward would be the darling of ESPN if we were actually good. Philly just going to have to wait his turn. Ward will be playing on Sundays. I think both of those running backs will be playing on Sundays. But I agree with you. LSU coach will leave. LSU, do you think we need to do what? I'm good. We don't need Edo. Sorry. Got to win 4 out of 6. Yeah. What's the latest on Coleman? I haven't heard anything. I know he's still looking good. I know he's still crystal balled. That's all you can ask for at this point. FSU got to just continue to show him that this is the place he needs to be. But as of right now, he's still favored to go to Florida State. We'll see how that one pans out. We need a new QB next season. Well, hopefully he's on the roster already, as far as I'm concerned. Next year, Travis or possibly Purdy. Who knows? Then next year, yeah, that's what I'm saying. At this point, we don't need a transfer guy. Groom Purdy. If Travis can't cut it next year, then Purdy should be next man up with Duffy or Rodemaker pushing behind him. I don't think I don't really know if I want Duffy playing year one. Now, if he comes in and he's just that good, then yeah. But Purdy should be ready to break out by the time we talk about next year. Hold on. Sorry. Chat jumped. Rodemaker got to hit the portal after this year. You think so? I don't know. If we switch Kevin Knowles and Jerry Jones, will the defense be worse? I don't know. I think you have Knowles in the perfect spot. I don't know. I'm not saying he can't play on the outside, but as a true freshman, I like Knowles where he's at. Right. Can't wait for a Dustin Hill. I hope he gets here in January. Again, I still don't believe that one. And Dustin Hill's not. I follow him on Instagram and Twitter. Silent. Dustin Hill hasn't said anything to even make me believe that he's going to be here in January. So, I don't believe it's going to happen. I do not believe Dustin Hill is going to happen. I've heard this story too many times. When a guy doesn't sign on signing day, oh, well, he's going to take a semester off. I've seen it. I've seen it play out over college football for many, many years. I do not believe Dustin. The only thing I will say that favors us is that LSU is not only struggling, but they just fired their coach, but yet they gave him the rest of the year. So if he was thinking about staying home, now it's like, well, LSU is in no better place than Florida State, really. So why not just come to the school that you committed to and, and all of that. So that's the only thing. That's the only positive outlook I can give on the Dustin Hill situation. But I'll believe it when I see it. I don't think he's going to be here, but hopefully he does, because he's going to be massive. If to me, I said it. If he was already on campus with him and McClain, guys like I don't know, Pookie might not be on the field if Dustin Hill was here. Helton might not be on the field if Dustin Hill was on this roster. I think he was that good. We need about 3 linebackers in the portal. Well, I like Deloach. I think Deloach is going to get better. But yeah, maybe another 2. Can't be wrong there. Unless, I'm not saying this is going to happen, because we are 2-4. But if you can sign, who's that kid? Not the Wesley Basaint, but I'm not talking about Basaint. There's another 4-star linebacker that Florida State's currently in the mix for. If our linebacker class this year consists of Omar Graham, Wesley Basaint, and that other kid, I can't freaking think of his name at this point, but he's a 4-star. I don't know. You don't have to hit the portal. Play them freshmen. I think Basaint can come in and get some snaps off the rip. So, depending on how they finish, and they are back on Tolan. If you don't remember, Tolan's the kid. He's the backer out of Orlando who committed to LSU. But FSU has not given up on that recruitment, again, with the state of LSU football. If you can sign him, there's some options. Now, I don't know. I don't have faith that Marv's going to close the deal on any of these, because he hasn't shown me that he can. But if he can, maybe we can avoid the portal and just play some. I'm okay with playing some of them freshman backers. Kevin Knowles is a perfect fit at nickel. Why switch him outside? We need to get linebackers, O-line and linebackers. We need good wide receiver from the portal and a linebacker. We got a crystal ball to us. If we get Kevin Coleman, oh my God. If we get Coleman, bro, I would be so hyped. Him and Hill. O-line may be good, though, with what's coming back. I do agree kind of with Purple Goblin. You're gonna lose Love Taylor, and that's it, right? And you're gonna lose Bavion, but ain't nobody nobody losing no sleep over losing Bavion. But you're bringing back Robert Scott, and I've said it, and I'm gonna continue to say it, and you guys see it when you watch it. When Robert Scott's healthy, he's the best offensive lineman we got, and may I dare say it's not really close. Robert Scott, go watch him against North Carolina. Go watch him against Notre Dame. Robert Scott's healthy. He's that guy. I think Washington has played very well this year. With Rod Orr next year having that year of development where he hasn't played, who knows what you get out of Rod Orr? Lloyd Willis might be a guy that you actually can move inside to guard. You got your Zane Herrings, your Thomas Schraders, Brian Estes. I don't know. I don't know if FSU is going to need. I still say add portal players. Don't get me wrong, and I think Dylan Gibbons will be back next year. I didn't even mention Maurice Smith. Like, I would still add some portal O linemen, but a couple portal O linemen on top of the 5 or 6 guys you're gonna bring in this class, the trenches are looking good for the future, folks. I agree, Deerfield. I would love to see Purdy play against UMass. I'm hoping we get a chance. I'm hoping we get a chance to see Purdy. Rodemaker will never see the field again. He should transfer. Ward is a freshman, ESPN says. I think it has to do with that. Again, I think he's been here 3 years, but he redshirted. Then he was a redshirt freshman. Then that COVID year happened. So I think that's why he's considered a freshman. Again, one of them super freshmen, man. Dupree, facts. And they forget he didn't even do that terrible. I said that, Sammy. I said that. I don't know why we want to give up on Purdy. Go back and watch his only start. He did not play terrible. Purdy played no worse than what you're seeing out of Tyler Van Dyke and his starts at Miami. Seriously. He played no one could just he couldn't get a receiver to catch a cold for him. But go watch Purdy. I think it was against Pitt, if I'm not mistaken. But go watch Chubba Purdy. He did not play bad. We just, for whatever reason, don't want to believe he's good because people are still upset about the Jeff Sims thing. And Jeff Sims has games at Georgia Tech where he'll throw 3 or 4 interceptions, but then he'll have a game where he plays extremely well. And we look at it as, well, Chubba Purdy must absolutely suck. I'm not giving up on Purdy yet. Justin Hill is hella silent, but his bio still it does. But again, he's not speaking, bro. For a kid not to be on social media at all, that's crazy. But I hope he's here. I just don't believe it until I see it. It's probably true he's coming here. No news is good news. You think so, DF? Maybe we redshirt him for the first year. Who? Purdy will be the one transfer portal going to follow his brother and play. That would suck. People saying we could get Wesley. I think it's wide open. I think and Joseph and Randy Shannon have Wesley Bissaint's ear. I think it's open. I'm not saying we land him, but I think it's completely possible. Daniel Martin was the guy I was talking about. Travis is on it. 4-star linebacker, Daniel Martin. I would love for us to pick that up. Cortez Andrews is better than Gaynor. I've given up on Willis. Not gonna lie to you. That kid's played too many games throughout his recruitment. I haven't even heard anything about him recently. I'm not sure FSU's still on him as much as they were. So Willis, I go to Georgia Tech, man. Do your thing. I'm not losing. FSU shouldn't play no more games with him. Najee Kelly probably spelled his name wrong. That's the defensive end. We just need a massive infusion of talent at the backer. I agree there. What up, Peter? We still have Smith and Gibbons. You ain't missed much, man. We just shooting the S we just talking about, you know how I do. Going through the comments, somebody talks about something I want to hit on. I spend 15 minutes just ranting about it. So that's what we're doing tonight. You got to get at least one, hopefully two O linemen. Gibbons has been mid, but we got another year with him. He hasn't been great, but he's been better than he's been better than Donta Lucas from that we've had the last 3 years. He's been better than Bavion, which he's had the last 4 or 5 years. So he's been an upgrade over what we've previously had. And he's one of the reasons why we've been able to run the ball. His run blocking has been very well. It's one of the reasons why we've been able to run the ball at teams. So no, he hasn't been great, but he's been better than what we have been accustomed to. Robert Scott is solid. Scott Smith, Washington Gibbons coming back. Marvelous Marv is doing fine with our linebackers. We struck out on our linebacker recruiting the last few years. Only our failures at QB recruiting was worse. Sad FSU can't recruit linebackers. So I will agree with that first part. Not the marvelous part. The hell with that. But Coach Marv is doing a fine job coaching them. I do believe that. I just think we have a lack of talent there. I think DeLoach is an FSU quality linebacker. Lundy is not. I will say that till the cows come home, until the ends of the days of the earth. That Lundy plays hard. They use him the best they can. That's a credit to Marv, where they put him in positions. Lundy cannot play sideline to sideline. Lundy is not fast. He's not twitchy. Lundy is not a real FSU quality linebacker. It just is what it is. I'm sorry. I don't hate the kid. I can only judge what I watch. He cannot play in space. Well, every linebacker in the year 2021 going into 2022 has to be able to play in space. He can't do it. DeLoach can. Dix can't seem to do it either. The fact that we've seen Lundy so much more than Steven Dix is honestly scary. I thought Dix was going to take a step this year. I was wrong. The fact that they think Lundy's better than Dix, I think, tells you everything you need to know about Steven Dix. So we lack legit talent at that position. So we got DeLoach. If those 3 guys that I mentioned, Basaint, I forgot the kid's name again. Let me scroll up and see his name again. Martin, Daniel Martin, Basaint, and Omar Graham, I think would instantly come in and probably be next to DeLoach your best linebackers. Again, I don't know what's going on with Jaleel McRae. I've watched Jaleel McRae and always thought he had talent, but for whatever reason, he can't get on the field at Florida State. And Jadarius Green McKnight, I think, will be a factor in the future. He's just learning a new position. And I also think I hear he's banged up a little bit. So, but we need an infusion of talent at linebacker for sure. And who knows what Jordan Eubanks is, if he's anything. Not high on him, wasn't high on him coming out, but we'll see. What do you think about going back to the portal for a defensive end? If you can find another Jermaine, sure. But let's give credit to our coaching staff. They've recruited a shit ton of defensive ends. I mean, Quayshawn Fuller and McClendon have been solid second string options this year. They haven't been liabilities. Now, Jermaine Johnson and Keir Thomas have been honestly just that dominant that you can see a drop off, but go and watch McClendon and Quayshawn Fuller. They have not been disappointments. They have upped their play. George Wilson is going to have at this point next year, or at the beginning of the next football season, George Wilson is going to have a year to have put on the necessary weight. You're talking about that guy's 6'5", former basketball player, playing defensive end, athletic as hell, twitchy. Patrick Payton, Byron Turner, who suffered a season-ending injury this year, but he's going to come back. Chambry Jackson. Now, I don't know if their plan is to move Chambry inside. The original plan was to move Chambry, but we'll see. But he's there. Possible that he could be a defensive end. You know? And look, y'all know how I feel. I still think Marvin Jones Jr. is a possibility. If you you don't need to hit the portal with the guys they've already recruited. And if you bring in a Marvin Jones Jr. or a Nigel Kelly, I don't think you really need to hit the portal. You got kids that I want to do. You got those high schoolers that I want to develop and get them on the field. NC State O-line is going to have depth next year. Actually, Purley bailed out in the second half. Could have done better, but we ran Mickey Mouse playbook in the first half. Polk, what's your take on Skinner, the tight end that committed to Bama? Was there somebody that you thought would go there to begin with? I did think, from what I heard, they had a good relationship with Skinner. There was not a rumor. Apparently, it was actually confirmed. That he was like drunk. I don't want to say drunk because he's a minor, but it was a rumor that he had some misconduct at the Notre Dame game, if I'm not mistaken, that turned the staff off and he wasn't a take anymore. I believe the incident happened. I do believe the incident happened. I do believe the staff may have soured on him a little bit, but you're not going to recruit a 5-star tight end because, but let me put it to you like this. If he's good enough for damn Nick Saban, he should be good enough for Mike Norvell. That's what I'll say. So the incident did happen from everything I could gather. That's not a lie. Where I think FSU media tried to cover up is by saying that he wasn't a take. I think that's a bunch of BS. Now, they could have eased their recruitment on him for sure. I'm not saying that they didn't. There was an incident. It happened. They eased up on him. But again, if he's good enough for Nick Saban, damn it, he should be good enough for Mike Norvell. But it is what it is. Is Hill still coming, bro? I don't think so, but people believe he's still coming, and I hope he does. I hope he does. Earl Little Jr., yeah, he ain't coming here. Earl Little hasn't committed anywhere yet. And the thought is that Bama's the leader there. For Purdy, you want to see NC State. It was an NC State game. Okay, my bad. I thought it was NC State or Pitt, but I remember the game. I just didn't remember the opponent. What's the latest on Marvin Jones Jr.? He's still going to commit at the end of the year. I still feel good. Look, your dad. I just can't. I cannot. And I'll probably be disappointed. I'll probably be a sad man when it's all said and done. I'm not gonna lie, because he's probably gonna commit to like an Ohio State or somewhere. But the name Marvin Jones, I can't see playing anywhere but here, and I just hope he feels the same way. I honestly do. What up, Walt Bell? We're gonna whoop that Walt Bell ass this weekend. Pray to God we get Jones Jr. Can we run on Clemson? Initially, I said no, and then I watched the Syracuse game. That running back, mind you, that we held in check. For the most part, we held that. They have a damn good running back at Syracuse, and we held him in check. That man had like 14 carries for like 140-some yards in the first half against Clemson. If Syracuse can run against Clemson, damn it, I believe we can. We do talk too much about Miami, but damn, they have the same record as us. I know he sucks, but I want to see DeKalen Brooks get some linebacker reps. No. No, sorry, I don't. Shout out to DeKalen. Make his mark on special teams, but but you said in the second half versus UMass. So, but even then, I don't. Let the young kid. I'd rather see Jordan Eubanks out there in the second half against UMass. You want to know why? Because I want to see what he is. I want to see what we got in him. I want to see what is Jordan Eubanks going to be is Jordan Eubanks going to be a factor in this linebacker room going forward? I want to see Jalen McCluster in the linebacker room in the second half against UMass. I don't want to see DeKalen Brooks because he's not going to be a factor going forward. I think DeKalen's a senior. He's gone after this year. I want to see my young boys, not DeKalen Brooks. That's just me, though. Lundy should play fullback. Yeah, we don't utilize a fullback anymore. Tyler, that Syracuse running back ran all over Clemson. We good? That's what I just said. Running back from Cuse was doing damage in the running game. Lundy too slow. Lack of talent at linebackers comes from Sleepy Bill Miller. Raymond Woody could recruit, but he couldn't coach. Graham underrated. Graham's playing a lot of running back this year in his senior year. Somebody want to go back there and play with all the toys. We definitely can run the ball on Clemson. If those three guys do come in, what do we do with Gaynor? I don't really care. But yeah, I think Gaynor should be playing more on the edge anyway. Omar Graham definitely going to be big. Eubanks does look the part. I agree with you there, Marcus. But so does Steven Dix. Steven Dix looks like the Hulk. Steven Dix looks like the best linebacker you may. If you could build a linebacker in the lab, you build him to look like Steven Dix. Steven Dix sucks. So looking the part is great, but I want to see. I want to see guys on the field play football. Graham is showing out. All Clemson receivers are all the same, no game breakers. Fuller locally doing good with Jarrett Jackson played the one good game. Unfortunately, he was hurt against North Carolina, but Malcolm Ray stepped up against North Carolina. Shout out to Malcolm Ray. We got some depth there at defensive tackle that I'm happy to see. Any news on Emmett Rice? And do you think he is an upgrade to what we? Yeah, I think Emmett Rice would be an upgrade to what we're playing right now. But I think somebody directly asked Mike Norvell about Emmett Rice, and Norvell wouldn't really give anything, and so I don't really have anything on Emmett Rice. I don't think he plays this year. But the question is, do they give him a medical red shirt, and does Emmett Rice come back next year? Or does he try the Hamza Nasruddin route and then go to the NFL? So we'll see there. Patrick Payton is a beast. I agree. Peyton's a beast Peyton's a beast in waiting. Yes, sir. Marvin Jones and Kelly a must, but also how many tight ends? We don't need any more. They better not be recruiting anymore. Now, I do think they were trying to recruit Skinner as a receiver. But we got enough tight ends, man. I take Skinner all day and tell the other guys to take a hike. Absolutely. Yo, Polk, what do you think? You think we can get by NC State with the win? Let's see how we look. We got a few games before NC State. Let's see how we look against Clemson. And then Miami plays them this weekend. Let's see how they look against Miami. Earl Little going to take that Patrick Surtain route by going to Bama. And they went to the same high school. Yeah, I think Earl Little's going to be in Bama. I think we're all just going to cry if Marvin Jones doesn't come here. But, you know, I would say be prepared. I don't want to – I hate to say it because I believe – in my heart of hearts, I believe if we just would have – we didn't start 0-4, I believe he'd be here. But then again, you got a lot more football left to play. And I know his dad wants him here. But his dad has also been quoted as saying he's going to let him make his own decision. But I know his dad wants him here. And look out in 2023, we got Lamont Green Jr. here. Like, we could legit have Marvin Jones Jr. at one end and Lamont Green Jr. on the end. Come on, bro. That is Florida State right there, man. We need them boys. Somebody said they think Marvin Jones Jr. is going to Oklahoma. I don't see that happening. I don't know where you're getting that one from, but why would he go to Oklahoma? He's got no ties to Oklahoma. You're talking about being a defensive end in the Big 12, and you're gonna get what? You ain't going. NFL ain't paying you no attention over there. Yes, they do pass the ball a lot, but no, man. You want to maximize your potential. If you're Marvin Jones Jr., you either want to go to the SEC or stay in the ACC, but you had to choose the right ACC team, which would probably be Florida State. Jones Jr. is FSU or Bama. Tell him, Ahmad. Let's see. I ain't even checked my likes. I got 55 people in here. Son, what are you doing? Oh, yeah. Come on. We need to get the likes up, man. We should have about as much likes as I got people in here. Again, you come in my house, ring my doorbell, dust your feet off and introduce yourself. That's how you do it, by hitting the like button. So hit that like button for me, man. Be nice to get Armelia. Not that Oregon is out. Not that Ed O. My bad. I know they just went and saw Armelia this past weekend. So I think they're still recruiting him hard, and he should be number one on the board. Jordan Travis is getting better at QB. I believe he can be a star. Purdy played Pitt, but NC State looked better. Okay. Can we run on Florida? Hell, LSU did. Now, I'm not saying we LSU, but LSU wasn't known for running the ball going into that game. They hadn't run the ball well going into that game against Florida, and all of a sudden I think they ran for like 200 plus yards. Miami, I know we can run on Miami. Again, that's their weakness. Adrian, stop it. Just making noise. Everybody runs on. Right. I know we can run on Miami because everybody can run on Miami. I get it. Everyone worried about Travis coming because he's going to Georgia games on his own dime instead of paying for it. Dix looks like Greg Jones 2.0. He looks like no, he don't look like no Greg Jones. I mean, look wise, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Look wise, but he looks like that one Jeff Luck. That's who he looks like. Stop, man. Go play the guitar in the room. Wouldn't stop. But he looks like Jeff Luck, if you guys remember that linebacker recruit. Pope, have you soured on your guy Gainer? I won't say I soured on. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll say I soured on him. Look, I can only talk about what you do on the field, man. No matter how much I might personally like a kid or want to see a kid succeed, I can only judge what you do on the football field. Gainer has not played well this year, so I can't. If I came on here and told y'all Gainer was great, y'all look at me like either this guy doesn't know what he's talking about or this guy has an agenda. Like when people come on, like I forget, I think it was no squad. No squad the other day was talking about how certain, I won't say the names, but certain other FSU YouTubes or media outlets be capping hard for Adam Fuller or whoever the case. And the people are like, what are y'all, you saying this, but what we see on the field doesn't go along with what you're saying. Y'all would do me the same way, right? If I came on here and telling you that Gainer was the next Lawrence Taylor, y'all be like, the hell is this guy talking about? So that's all I'm saying. Like, so yeah, I've soured on him because his play hasn't been well. It just is what it is. Aaron Hester tough. I always forget Aaron Hester. He's another kid who's committed. He hasn't wavered, and he said it. He has said as much that he's locked in. FSU should build quality team confidence with the destruction of UMass. Please don't go out there. I agree, Serve. Don't go out there half-assing it. Go out there, dominate, and you're going to go into Clemson with a lot of momentum, winning 3 straight. I like Hester. I like Hester too. I'm late. What up, John? But never thought I would say after starting 0-4 that we'd have a chance against, bruh, who you telling? I think hit the like button is your catchphrase. Hey, hit it. Pope, we are better run. That's what I'm saying. LSU struggled to run the ball, and then all of a sudden against Florida, they went for 200 plus. This FSU team, there's a lot of flaws. There's a ton of flaws on this FSU team. You could look at them and we can talk about them. From game 1, this team has been able to line up and run the football. They just haven't committed to it as a staff for whatever reason. They want to come out here and they want to play the game like we're in the AAC and at the ACC and throw the ball 50, 60 times. Well, that's not what we can do. Maybe once we get a better pass blocking O-line and a quarterback that can go through reads and all that, then you can kind of try to put that offense in here. We line up and run the football. And we have been that since game 1. And they haven't, and it wasn't until North Carolina, for whatever reason, that they said, you know what? We're a running football team. So we can run, man. We can run against these teams. Watch Collins Hill game. Travis Hunter told Craig. Yeah. Did a whole interview on it. So again, I'm not worried about Hunter. Hunter's gonna go take his visits, man. I'm not worried. And if the day comes where he decides to do and go somewhere else, then I wish him all the best. I wish him all the best. Yeah, they say Oklahoma has made a big jump with Marvin. They said Ohio State, Oklahoma, FSU was top 3. They say. Well, we'll wait for see if what he announces though. But I would hope Ohio State makes sense. Oklahoma doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. POLK, I bought the liquor. Hey, Gator hater with the liquor. Gainer had a good game against UNC, so maybe he's found it. Gainer always catching tackles instead of knocking people backwards. I said a few times, if I'm I'm trying to make a statement, run them out of the stadium. Bishop Thomas, he's another one that said he's locked in. So as you can see, you're hearing from majority of these kids, man, you're hearing all the right stuff. I can see Ohio State being the runner for Marvin Jones, but Oklahoma has been nothing but a joke. I agree with Gator Hater right there. Ohio State makes a lot of sense. Oklahoma doesn't to me, but that's just my opinion. Armelia, Hester, Jones Jr., Lamont Green, all legacy right. You gotta get them. Now we got Hester locked up. I mean, he's not locked up until he signs, but for all intents and purposes, Hester has said he's not going anywhere. We got Hester lined up. Man, if we get them other 3, that'll make me one happy Seminole, guys. You guys have no idea. I'll put Tomahawk. We'll have a Tomahawk sticker. Lamont Green is committed. And honestly, I don't think Lamont Green Jr. is going anywhere. If you ever listen to his dad talk, I almost feel like Lamont Green Sr. is going to force Lamont Green Jr. to be a Seminole. Like, if you listen to the way to let Lamont Green talk, when you say the words "no-blooded," I know his heart pumps garnet and gold. I know Lamont Green's heart pumps garnet and gold all day. So I'm not worried about Lamont Green Jr. I'm not worried about Hester. But the mother two, we can get all, I will put helmet stickers on here for, well, I'm not going to put it on there for Hester because we already got Hester. But we get Armelia, we get Jones Jr., they'll both get a helmet sticker. Keep running the ball to the wheels fall off. I agree. Keep running the ball to the wheels fall off. One thing I dislike about this staff is them acting like the game plan has never changed. But if you go on, that's that disingenuous stuff you hear in the. Remember, Coach Kenny Dillingham said, we are not going to stop running the wild. Kenny Dillingham was defiant in that interview. I think it was post Jacksonville State. I could be wrong, where he was defiant in defending his Wildcat. Have we seen the Wildcat since? We didn't see the Wildcat once against North Carolina. And I don't believe we saw it once against Syracuse. He has drastically gone away from the Wildcat. They say one thing in these interviews where they say things and then you go to the field and you see something completely different. Kenny Dillingham was defiant in his defense of the Wildcat. The man hasn't ran it since that interview. I don't know why they feel the need to, in their interviews, be so defiant and be so, well, this is not what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Like Mike Norvell said, how they claim they called a certain, I forget because I kind of let it go, but against Jacksonville State again. Oh, we didn't call that defense that you'd obviously call because we all can go back and watch the film. We were actually in this defense. No, you were not. Either you were not in that defense. I mean, either you are lying or players just said to hell with it and did what they wanted to do on the field. Like, so you make a good point, Tyler. Like, they act like they've always done these things when the truth is we can go back and watch tape that they haven't. So I agree with you there. We don't play Pitt this year. Oh, you mean, but that game definitely be interesting. I think Pitt might get the nod there, man. I think Pitt might beat them. I see the team getting better week to week. We keep up, the record will be good. Oklahoma never played defense. Makes no sense to me either. Hit that like button. Mark Poops called a timeout with 3 seconds left. Lacks concern for. What are you talking about? Mark Popes called a timeout with 3 seconds left, down by 23. Mark Stoops. I think that's what you're trying to say. That Mark Stoops called a timeout with 3 seconds left, down by 23. Lacks concern for players' safety. I hate Adam Fuller, but if Travis Hunter and these other dudes like him, Got to keep him. Unfortunately, I agree with you. We Unfortunately, I agree with you. I don't like Adam Fuller either, but if we can get better, I damn sure hope so, bro. Dindy, a 5-star, decommitted, committed to Oklahoma, but Dindy's been crystal ball there and has ties to Oklahoma, so um, the Dindy was never a surprise. Okay, I know he's from Lakeland, Central Florida, but I've heard he has family over there, so he has ties to Oklahoma. He's been crystal ball to Oklahoma for months now. So that doesn't necessarily surprise me. Marvin, we know who his family is. Like Marvin, I don't see why he's even interested in them. Only ran 56 plays versus UNC. I wish Douglas was more involved in the pass. I do too. Dindy, a 5-star. Okay, you said that one. Clemson offense is horrible, and Dindy is Oklahoma. There you go. Yeah, family over there. Like I said, that makes. I knew he had some ties to Oklahoma. I knew he had ties to Oklahoma, so that always made sense to me. Why can't our legacies ever come here? That aggravates the hell out of me. Alabama legacies, they go like everybody's legacies they go home. Our legacy, Corey Collier goes to Florida. And stuff like that. Like, can we get our legacies to come to Florida State? I would like, Bush goes to Michigan. I would like for our legacies to finally start coming home and turning this thing around. That's what I would love. Who is your favorite to win the Super Bowl this year? Man, it's kind of early to tell, right? But let's see. In the AFC, the Ravens are looking like the real deal, man. I like the Chargers too, but the Ravens, the Chargers, the Chiefs, man, the Chiefs took a step back. But the Ravens look like the real deal. I think the Chargers are. They played today, and I know the Ravens got the nod over that. But in the AFC, man, I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I like the Chargers, but I'm gonna go with the Ravens. And then in the NFC, Cardinals are looking really good. The Rams are looking really good, and the Bucks are still one of the favorites. So I would go with one of those three teams. I kind of want to see Ramsey. I'm gonna say the Rams, and the Ravens. That's what I'll say. As of right now, I'll say the Rams and the Ravens. No, not the Cowboys. No, not the Cowboys. Yeah, agree, Colin. We actually have a legit chance. Cowboys will choke. I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Somewhere along the line, Cowboys will choke it away. They're doing good now, but they'll find a way to win. I mean, they'll find a way to lose. When you going to show some love for Fabian Lovett? Bro, I've been showing love to Fabian Lovett every week. What are you talking about, Derek? Chat, have I not shown love to Fabian Lovett? I just said he was a beat. Bruh, I show love to Fabian Lovett every single week. Somebody, if I haven't shown love to Fabian Lovett, somebody let me know. Because I swear every week I talk about how great he's been. Even preseason, I said I thought he was going to be great. So, or am I tripping, or do I need to show Fabian Lovett more love? Bucks all day. Cowboys and the Bills. Bills are solid too. Ravens smacked the Chargers. That was surprising. Football season just needs to end. Kane say, if y'all don't know, obviously he's a Hurricane fan. We know how that game. But Kane Zay is also a Dolphin fan. And they found a way to lose to a team that hasn't won a game in like 17 games. They lost to the great old Urban Meyer-led Jacksonville Jaguars. Shout out to them Dolphins, baby. Y'all stop hating. Need to be fast and physical on defense like the 90s team. Every week. Bucks, Ravens. I I wanted to say Bucks, but I didn't. I don't know, man. I don't want to see Tom Brady win again. Like, I don't want to see Tom Brady win again, but I can see the Bucks in the Ravens Super Bowl. Fabian doing what he's supposed to. Show love to. I said Malcolm Ray played good this past weekend. I'm glad that I'm actually glad that Jarrett Jackson and Malcolm Ray are given that legit depth. And we already know Fabian Lovett and Robert Cooper been doing the damn thing. The Bills retiring Lamar. Yeah, they are. Louisville is retiring Lamar Jackson's jersey, which makes sense. My friend is a diehard Gator, and after that game, he says y'all have a legitimate chance to beat us. Love it playing like Timmy Jernigan. He's playing really good. I don't know if I'm ready to go Timmy Jernigan yet. But he's playing really good. That game was honestly embarrassing. Which game? How about them I don't care. No one cares about the Cowboys. Y'all Cowboys fans, man. Y'all worse than Miami fans. Also, why is the London game always terrible teams? It's like we want the Brits to hate football. They're gonna hate football regardless. You know, they're all soccer over there anyway. I don't know what happened to True. Yeah, that's a great question from Derek though. What happened to True Thompson? It seems like Malcolm Ray and Jarrett Jackson have all jumped, and even damn, I'm forgetting his name. Even Joshua Farmer, they've all jumped True Thompson in the depth chart. That's a great question. I don't know what happened to True. I have no idea what happened to True. Cowboys and Canes. They the same type of fans, man. It's ridiculous. Every year, the Cowboys and the Hurricanes are going to be back. How about them? Oh, man, Travis Hush. Brits love the kickers, for sure. True injuries has been... Okay, so True's out with injuries. Okay. Honestly, I don't think we miss him, though. If you're being real, I would say we don't miss much of him. I would say we don't miss much of him, but yeah. So we did our thing today. Little college football wrap up. We wrapped up pretty much what all happened this weekend. I might go for 2. So we got about 10 more minutes. And then I'm going to call it a wrap. Braves got a win today. Damori Tate, though, and Brian Robinson. What happened with Damori? Damori just hasn't played. Brian Robinson has hit the transfer portal, Purple Goblin, in case you haven't heard. But Damori Tate hasn't played. I'm hoping he doesn't hit the portal. AJ Duffy might be the game changer we need at QB. And Tyler, yeah, Braves got this. What's up, man? Outside. Yep. So what y'all want to close with? Any thoughts on the Iowa versus Iowa was who we thought they were. Iowa was who we thought they were. A lot of people were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe Purdue beating up." Bro, it's Iowa. Let's stop pretending like Purdue was gonna finish the season undefeated. Like, it's Iowa. So I never believed the Iowa hype. So for me, that game doesn't mean anything. Iowa is what they are. So UMass score. I think. Wait a minute. I think. I'm gonna say 41. I'm gonna say 41-10. I'm gonna say 41-10. I'm gonna say 41-10. Never see Tate or Robinson. Yeah, he in the portal. It's been a strange college football season. I feel like everyone is beatable. I think that COVID year, man, I think affected things more than people realize. I still think a team that has some offense can beat Georgia. Kentucky played a tough first half. I think Kentucky's problem was that Kentucky ran out of gas. They ran out of horses in that second half. Don't worry about Robinson. He only came to FSU because Dugans. He wasn't no blooded. My prediction is 45-10. Polk, how do you think we finish off? Honestly, I think we go 3-4, right? Y'all know how I am. I like to see things before I make predictions, which kind of negates making predictions if you got to see things. But I feel like, man, if you can leave Clemson 4-4, a lot of things open up. Even if you don't, depending on how you look in that game, Boston College is looking a lot more beatable now. I'm not completely sold on NC State. I definitely think we can. Obviously, Miami is more than beatable, right? Five or six wins, man, is not out of the realm of possibility. It's kind of where I'm leaning. If you can beat Clemson, I think you get 6 at least. If you don't beat Clemson, I still think you can beat Miami and Boston College. Those other two games, NC State would be tough, and Florida would be tough, right? So 5 to 6 wins, I think, is realistic at this point. And then obviously, you can't lose to UMass at all. If you do that, then that's a whole other conversation. Really, you have a bunch of average team, and then like 3 or 4 that seem obviously better than everyone else. It wasn't like Robinson was lighting up. Wasn't like Robinson was lighting up. We ain't gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him. And I know he wasn't doing much, but I still think he had the potential. But potential means you ain't done it yet, right? So I hear you. I understand that. If Miami fires Manny, we should give him a look at the coordinator. I don't know. I know he's a graduate. Probably better than Fuller. I'll give you that. I'm taking this thing one game at a time. 7-5. Stop. Where do you get this from, man? What is this? Huh? Where you get it from?
In the home.
Go put it back in the room. 5 wins seems most likely to me. To beat the Sugar Canes, I think we have to do what they do. Treat that game like it's our bowl or it's our Super Bowl. Have you seen Miami defense? I'll pass. Georgia always struggles against Florida. That might be the game. I think so too, Ahmed. They do struggle with Florida. Her defense ain't going to playbook in Miami. I don't know what's going on down there, bro. With the Brian Robinson stuff, I really don't know why he's transferring out as a COVID freshman, especially. I agree. I don't like that he's transferring either, and I don't quite understand it. But Manny got fired from – he did. He absolutely did. I heard LSU after Dabo. Yeah, I don't think that's not going to happen. They can have him though. That would be I'm going to tell you right now, LSU. You think that's a good hire? That is not a good hire. Look, I'm not high on Dabo. I think I've said this a lot. I am not a Dabo guy, and forget off the field stupid shit that he says. As a coach, I'm not high on Dabo. As a coach, I'm not. I've never been high on Dabo. If Dabo Swinney had been anywhere else, he would have been fired a long time ago. Clemson wasn't winning when Dabo got there. There was no expectations to win. They allowed him to go through the growing pains. Okay? There's a reason why in Dabo's early stint as a Clemson coach, they used to have this thing called Clemsoning because they would just lose in a Clemson way. Where, remember that bowl game against West Virginia where they got whooped. West Virginia put up 70 on them, right? Those Clemson was known for doing that. Dabo didn't get great till he got Chad Morris as his offensive coordinator and Brent Venables as his defensive coordinator. And then the thing kind of went on from there. But LSU would be stupid to do that. But please do it. Because one thing he does have in Clemson now is that he has an established system there. But Dabo is not anything to write home about. I know he's a two-time national champion, so shout out to him. No one can ever take those things away from him, but there's like that's probably, I don't know, like, man, there might be 10 coaches in college right now that I would take over Dabo Swinney. And I'm honestly not hating. That's just how I feel. Kentucky ran down the play clock to 2 seconds every play to limit UGA's possessions to prevent a blowout. Stoops didn't even try to win. Miami's defense is trash. And Manny built that defense. That's a fact. Miami's the worst tackling team in the country. Stop it. Hardest game left is at Florida. The rest doable if we don't beat ourselves. Dabo ain't S around here. Living 20 minutes from Clemson. He like a god. That's what I'm saying. He probably will never leave Clemson. If he goes to LSU, he'll be fired in 2 to 3 years. Because that LSU team ain't going to be what y'all think it is. Not with Dabo Swinney at the helm. I'm telling you that now. LSU's best bet is to put their chips in for Jimbo. And test his loyalty to A&M. That would be LSU's best bet. Because outside of that, who is LSU going to hire? I would love to see where LSU goes with this hire. Bro, I watched it against Syracuse. It's really bad. Clemson's really bad. That's why I'm like, man, if we go out against, and UMass isn't no real gauge of anything, but if we can go out there and handle business like we're supposed to, I'm telling you, man, we go into Death Valley with a legit chance to win this football game. Now, if we go out there against UMass and, again, let this thing play around like we did against Jacksonville State, even if you win the game, but you let this thing just looks ugly and they're not focused and we got a million penalties and but you still win the game, that's no-go. That's a no-go. Come out there looking focused, get the job done, and get ready to move on. Now, if you're second string, if you're up 28-0, and the third stringers, your second stringers, the Chubba Purdy and some of these, these other kids are in the game, then I can accept the penalties and all those other things. Whatever, you got to come up there and take care of business. If we do that, how I foresee it, but I foresaw 8 wins in my head. Then you saw what we did. But how I envision this game Saturday, if we actually play like that, yeah, Clemson might want to be careful. They might want to watch out for your boys. Kentucky took time out to score to save their ranking in the poll. A $50 million buyout. LSU not paid that. If we're talking about Jimbo, again, I don't know all the facts there. But from what I've read, there actually isn't a buyout clause or it's a very minuscule buyout clause for Jimbo Fisher. Texas A&M actually banked on the fact that they pay him $9 million a year and didn't expect any other team to kind of supersede that. Again, this comes back to the prior Texas A&M AD is the current LSU AD. So he hired him at A&M, and the belief was that they gave him such a friendly contract that it actually doesn't have a buyout clause or something to that degree. Again, I don't know all the facts to it. It's just something I read. Clemson had a great run, but it's back to reality, and you should see Clemson against Georgia Tech and Boston College. They were worse than they was against Syracuse. Yeah, that Syracuse game was the first time I really sat down and watched them. I do hear LSU might go after Joe Brady. Remember, he was the offensive coordinator when they had Joe Burrow and those guys. So LSU might make a run at some other guys. Again, that job's interesting. LSU, USC, Miami, those are probably the three jobs that are open at the end of the year. And maybe some other ones. But that's all we got today. Didn't do anything yesterday, so I wanted to come on here on a Sunday and just talk some football, man. So this was good. 2 hours flew by, not going to lie. I don't even feel like I've been sitting here for 2 hours. But I have, so that means I got to go. So shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody who came through. If you didn't hit that like button on your way in, hit the like button on your way out. It's your boy POLK, a.k.a. 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 the goddamn truth. Then you over here on 8637 TV. I'm going to do something this week. I want to do something this week. Maybe do a little tiny preview of UMass. UMass doesn't deserve, UMass isn't a team that you got to really go in depth here. But we'll do a little bit something against UMass. And then, so I'll try to find something either Wednesday or Thursday. But stay classy, Seminoles. Keep your head up. We're trending in the right direction, so we got to keep climbing. We trending in the right direction. Keep your head up, Seminoles. It's your boy, POLK. And we out here, baby. I'll catch y'all sometime later this week. Y'all have a good rest of your Sunday. And get ready for this work week come Monday, baby. Let's go. Go Noles. Have a good night.